going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and this morning we're going to be talking about everything we know regarding the Season 3 update for MW3 Zombies. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, we got plenty of brand new content going up over on dkdynamite.com for those that want additional coverage of multiplayer, Warzone, and zombies, plus plenty of tweets every single hour on Detonated's Twitter. Now, with that being said, a couple of days ago I posted a massive news roundup about everything we know so far regarding Season 3 for every single game mode, zombies included, but we've learned a little bit more information since then in regards to zombies specifically, so I'll be posting more news roundups as we do learn more information over the next few days. But Season 3 marketing is expected to launch around March 27th-ish, a week before the start of our third season. But I want to mention real quickly, this bunker over in Urzikstan, you guys have probably known about for quite some time. There's just zombies sitting in these test tubes. Is this a hint towards anything we're going to be getting in Season 3? Considering this was a Season 2 update, I wonder if this is referencing anything that we're going to probably see in April or May throughout our third season. I'm not sure what this could mean. I mean, maybe it's a zombies event in Urzikstan, but within actual zombies, you can't actually access this bunker. So I'm curious if it's just a Warzone only thing, or is it something that is tied to the actual MWZ? We'll just have to wait and see. But I am hoping that over on Rebirth Island, when that map does come out, presumably in Season 3, we get some zombified content of sorts, similar to what we got over on Fortune's Keep. I know Season 2 was a bit of a zombified themed season, hence why we got some zombies content like power-ups and contracts, but fingers crossed we get a little bit more zombies related in Rebirth Island, even if it is for a limited time. Definitely a fan of seeing that crossover between Warzone and even zombies, but if you disagree with that, feel free to drop a comment down below. There's a bunch of quality of life updates, speaking of Warzone, that I believe could be leftover information from DMZ and Warzone, but these are features that may end up getting added to zombies at some point soon. I do feel like MWZ should have followed the same formula that DMZ did for the first couple of seasons, where every other update is a major one with a new map, a new Easter egg, or new rewards, whereas the updates in between are just overhauls with quality of life changes, new features, and upgrade systems. That's how zombies should have been handled in this game, but that could have happened maybe in a perfect world. There's features like a dead drop locker, exfil balloon, a citadel, a portable buy station, a weapon trade station, a defib, a decontamination station, and even an ATM that reportedly are tied to the zombies mode. Could be scrap features, maybe things that never end up seeing the light of day, or these could be planned updates for Season 3 and beyond, so keep that one in mind. But we also have a leaked image of the wallet system that is going to be coming to zombies at some point in the future. A couple of months ago, images did surface from the usual data miners on Twitter of both a wallet and even an exfil streak system. Luckily, the containment levels are the new versions of exfil streaks. Those came out with Season 2 Reloaded, but the wallet is still nowhere to be seen. This is a massive feature that also helped DMZ quite a bit, giving you a reason to stack up a ton of cash in your match and allowing you to take it into your next game, right? Being able to spawn in with tens of thousands of points really speeds things up pacing-wise, and would especially for zombies. Instead of having to go in and play 20-30 minutes of Urzikstan to really set up before going into the Dark Aether, imagine spawning in with 30, 40, 50k at least. Just go to Wonderfizz right away, buy your perks, pack a punch once or twice, then play a little bit before going into your objective or whatever it is you want to do. That's massive. That's a huge feature that really would improve replayability of MW Zombies and would probably eliminate the need for people out there to do a tombstone exploit. Now, before we continue, I just wanted to remind you about MitchCactus.com, where you can get assistance grinding camos, nukes, or schematics in MW3. These guys do not use unlock tools or any bannable methods and will actually help you play the game. MitchCactus is also supported by Trustpilot with over 10,000 verified reviews. You can use code DYNAMITE for a limited time to save 5% off your order. But I do want to go over an update from Alan III over on Twitter, who did report on some new information regarding a PvPvE mode inside of MW3 Zombies. Like I mentioned before, with this update, it's going to be a controversial one, right? Not many folks out there want to see this, but let's wait and see how this mode could play out before we judge it, right? It could be a really fun LTM or a fun permanent mode that sits alongside Operation Deadbolt that's just there for a different reason, right? If you guys don't want to go in and risk your loot or play against other real people, you don't have to play it, but to me, it would be a pretty healthy update just to give a vibe of DMZ a little bit and maybe a real version of Grief like what we had in BO2, but on a much bigger scale. I'm optimistic about it, right? As of right now, according to Alan III, new Cashbox updates were discovered in the game's files that do reference this PvP mode. You'll be coming across mercenary loot, loot of different rarity, new forms of intel identified by basic, advanced, major, and even warlord. So these are things that may be exclusive to just a PvPvE mode, which also serves as more evidence that what whatever this experience is not going to impact the main experience right now that is MW3 Zombies. Don't forget about that clip from a couple of months ago where somebody out there was able to down another player. For whatever reason, PvP was active for a couple of minutes in their game. Not sure how this happened, but you can argue that serves as some evidence that PvP does exist somewhere inside of MWZ. But it looks like we're also getting another section of Al-Mazrah added into MW3 Zombies, which I think is gonna end up being a recurring theme for the remaining couple of seasons we have MW3. So this time, Hydroelectric that we saw last year is gonna be added in as a new Dark Aether Rift, and it'll probably be unlocked through a similar series of steps that we did to go ahead and unlock the Al Bagra Fortress Rift in Season 1, and then the Al Sayed Shopping Center Rift in Season 2 Reloaded. So I'm not really a fan of how formulaic that's becoming, where maybe every mid-season update, so every Reloaded content drop, we're going to be getting the same type of content, which is on Al-Mazrah section, a couple of artifacts that we can pick up in an act mission, then we have to upgrade those artifacts over on Urzikstan before being able to go into that rift to complete a similar series of contracts that we already know about, and then those will reward us with the brand new schematics. I'm not opposed to that every once in a while, but I think it's gonna get a bit repetitive every single mid-season to keep getting that. But I will be a fence sitter for a second and say that that's still better than nothing, and I'd rather have that than just some bare bones update like just a new Warlord or just, you know, one new contract or one new item. I think it's still some type of content to keep us waiting until the definitive Zombies comes out this fall from Treyarch, which is going to be inside of Black Ops 2024. But I also want to mention in regards to that Dark Aether Rift, reportedly there is a 4th contract that'll be featured inside of that new section. So apart from the Outlast, Bounty, and Escort, which we have seen in previous rifts, we're also going to be seeing a weapon stash contract that you can do. So although you could say, oh, it's rehashed content from DMZ or Warzone or anything from last year, you could argue that certainly if you played it, but if you weren't someone that played Warzone or DMZ last year, this is still new content for some Zombies folks that just want something new to play to keep the time going until Black Ops 2024 rolls around. Now with the new rift will obviously come a brand new Act 4 mission that'll send us into this new rift, and the Act mission will provide us with hints as to what artifacts we need to collect so that we can go back to Urzikstan and either upgrade or find these artifacts to then go right back into that section outside of the Act mission. Leakers out there have suggested that there's going to be a total of 6 acts by the end of MW3's cycle. I'm maybe guessing Season 4 could be the beginning of Act 5 or probably the end of Act 4. I'm not sure how they're going to end up speedrunning this, but it looks like we still have some narrative left to go through multiple acts. I mean, let's see how they're going to do this, but if anything, there's a reason why we're going to have an Act 5 and Act 6. Maybe that's on another map, fingers crossed. Highly doubt that, but we still have plenty more cinematics to get through, either through these Dark Aether rifts or who knows what else. But supposedly in this new Act 4 mission, we're going to have to look for a toy giraffe, a crayon, journal, and even a laptop. The last rift was focused a bit on Fletcher. This new one will be focused a lot on Ava. So we're going to have to find these artifacts either in the Act mission or back in Urzikstan. We got to upgrade them, and then we can go ahead and place them to get into the new rift, which is going to be for the Hydroelectric section. It looks like the new boss for this experience in Season 3 is going to be the champion. I doubt it's a new enemy type, or maybe the champion from 9 and BO4. That would be phenomenal, but Treyarch did confirm in the Season 2 creator call that there are no new enemy types or perks planned for the game. So it's probably just a reskin Disciple or another enemy that we already have in the game, just with an EMP effect or something else. Nothing too original, but that's probably what the champion is. Now here's where things get spicy. So those items that I mentioned that we're going to have to find either in the Act 4 Rift or over on Urzikstan, they will apparently give players extra abilities, such as the ability to do extra damage against zombies. You could have a speed boost and even a vision enhancement. So those are 3 abilities right there that you're either going to get when you put these items in your inventory, after you upgrade them, maybe after you place them. It's a little unknown how that's going to work, but that might be tied to the new schematics that are also going to be coming. So these sound like very different schematics from what we have right now inside of MWZ. So judging what leakers have said before, the code names for the existing Warlords in MWZ right now are as follows. AFO stands for Legacy somehow. Chemist stands for Carries, who just dropped in Season 2 Reloaded. Somebody named Maestro is actually Dokubi, who released back during Season 1, and the only one that we just haven't seen yet is the Rainmaker, who may end up being the final Warlord added into the game. We're supposed to be looking for specific outfits or pieces of their clothing which will serve as some relic or artifact or some type of schematic schematic. They're referred to as schematics, which are kind of odd since they sound different from every other schematic we currently have in game. We're looking for the Barret off Legacy. We're looking for the mask from the Chemist, aka Carries. We're then looking for the vest from Rainmaker, who hasn't dropped yet. And we're also looking for a mod from Maestro. So it's unclear if we have to go up and kill these Warlords to grab these pieces of clothing, or will these items pop up in random loot chests around Urzikstan or within the brand new Dark Aether Rift, which we'll then use for, let's say, opening up the Elder version of the Rift, or we'll use to unlock these classified schematics somehow. It's a little unclear what we have to do with these items, but they are tied to the existing Warlords in the game, including one that hasn't even dropped yet. But these kind of remind me of some of those Perma perks that we saw back during Black Ops 2. The leakers out there have suggested that some of these items I just mentioned, or the abilities tied to them, may also be consumables. Maybe there's going to be a temporary method to get your hands on some of this content, whether it's through the Act mission, whether it's through looting, whether it's through upgrading something, and then you don't get the permanent version of those perks or whatever those abilities are until after you complete the new contracts in our brand new Dark Aether Rift. This could be completely misinterpreted, but it actually sounds cool if we're going to maybe see some Warlords within the brand new Dark Aether Rift, not on Urzikstan, or at least maybe exclusive loot that you can find in Hydroelectric instead of finding this loot over on Urzikstan. But last and certainly not least, I do want to mention the possibility of maybe seeing another side Easter egg similar to what we got for the Red Worm in Season 1. I love being able to see a separate quest that has nothing to do with the Act mission, the Dark Aether Rift, or any of those schematics. I love to see a very separate type of Easter egg added in that maybe could still reward us with some other schematics or other abilities, which might be what we were just talking about. Maybe there is a separate quest tied to those Warlords and those pieces of clothing, but we'll love to see something else aside from the formulaic type update, which is going to be that Act mission, then the artifacts, those upgrades, the Aether Rift, and the contracts. Hopefully we get a little bit more, but I'm also curious if we're going to get any new content at the start of Season 3, which is April the 3rd, or do we have to wait until Season 3 Reloaded, which is early May, to get anything that we just talked about? But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on everything we know so far about Season 3 for MW3 Zombies? Do you think we're getting any of this during the first week of April, or do you think we have to wait a little bit longer to get any brand new content drops? Also leave your thoughts down below on the new artifacts, possible schematics, and even what could be a wallet system. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.